What's up, everyone? We have a Stihl here. It is a multi-tool, and the person says it bogs down. I don't 100% know what that is meaning, but let's go ahead and give it a pull and see what the extent of the bogging is, and we'll go through some common occurrences and hopefully get it repaired. Let's see what we have here. Primer primes. That's good news. Choke on. Let's give it a pull. Turn the choke off. Hold it down to start. Turn it back to choke. That didn't really seem like bogging. It sounded like it just died. Let's try this again. Choke on. Okay, well, that gave us some information. So it doesn't really seem like it doesn't want to rev up, because it did kind of rev, but it didn't really want to idle. So let's see what we have in here for fuel. Let me grab a container and pour that out for us. Two things. I want to address the elephant in the room. There's no head on this machine. I don't know what he's going to put on it. So we don't have a load, but it should still idle or rev up. But it's not really wanting to do a whole lot of both, at least not consistently. But look at that. That's pretty old. So fresh fuel should be, I don't want to say clear because it's not clear. It does have a tone to it, but it should be pretty close to clear. And then 2-cycle fuel should be either a light tone of red or blue usually. That is green. That tells me that is old 2-cycle fuel, or at least mixed fuel, however you want to classify it. So I'm going to put in a little bit of good, hopefully I have enough, it is kind of low, good fresh fuel. I also want to make sure the fuel filter is looking good. It looks pretty much brand new. Yeah, there's like almost nothing in here. So I'm going to mix up another gallon, and then I'm going to put in enough to fill the bottom and at least submerge the fuel filter, and then we'll see if that helps at all. And there we go. I have good fresh fuel, fully submerging the fuel filter. Now, let us tighten that. I do have to admit, when I poured it out, there was a tad bit of spillage. Let's get that cleaned up. Now what we need to do is press this. What that's going to do is going to kind of flush the carburetor out from the old fuel and kind of replace it with the new fuel. Because that's mainly our problem. We're not going to get all of it. I hope it's mainly our problem. Could be jinxing myself. But let's give it a pull now. Here we go. Choke. Have it set to start. Let's try it. Turn off choke. had died. But I think some of that has to do with the tuning. It is running pretty low. Let's give it a little bit of a idle boost. That's going to require a screwdriver. At least I hope it's that way. Yeah, it is. Okay. So right here, I'm going to turn it a third of a turn, a little under half. Let's see what happens. So I could get away with probably tuning this out, but let's look at this air filter and whatnot. The owner did tell me he recently placed the spark plug. Ooh, that's hot. All this is hot. It's like 100-something degrees outside. And a slight running of a machine builds temperature fast. Wow, that is pretty much brand new. So, I don't suspect that's a problem. What I suspect is we're going to have to take the carburetor off. So, more likely than not, the old fuel probably just kind of gunked it up a little bit, and we're going to need to take off the carb, which I don't really want to do. If I remember, this one might be the real pain one. And we just need to degunkify it. Yep, this is the real fun one. If Stihl could just for once, just think of the repair person when they make stuff like this. It would just be amazing. Okay, now what am I caught on? Okay. Looks like we have that inside off, the little hose. Come on, there we go. Now, this throttle isn't the easiest. We're going to need some pliers and remove those fuel lines. So there is a fuel line right here. It's really on there. There we go. Oh, I forgot to. Yep. Who let the new person work on this? Now the table just is nice and sufficiently covered in good new fuel. I suppose it did need a cleaning. If you're unaware of what happened, that tank has pressure, and when you don't release the pressure, aka you just take the line off, and you shouldn't, it will just spew out. Now there's a, yeah. Come on. Yep, this is the Stihl repair lack of knowledge or lack of courtesy that's really making this super fun. You can take this plate off. There we go. Now, you take the throttle off. Oh man, it's like 100 degrees outside. Actually, it's 105 outside. That was easy. At least that was the one good thing Stihl has done for us today. But 105 here is not fun. I'm sure it's not fun anywhere, but if you live in like the Southwest or something, you kind of have to imagine that's going to happen to you once in a while. Oh, that came off instead of the way I was hoping it did. Oh well. let's get this taken apart. Anyway, 105. Yesterday was 109. Tomorrow's gonna be 107. Luckily, after that, we go back to normal. I think it's supposed to be like 87 the following day. The part that really gets me is I can usually cool off at night. Last night, it only got down to like 82. That's not that cool. Not to say it didn't stop me from purchasing a few adult beverages and sitting outside. But it was not nearly as comfortable as I'm usually would be used to. More likely than not, we're going to be replacing this. It's pretty. So I apologize. I just got done talking about how it was hot outside. Well, it got so hot my camera actually turned off. So the only thing I did, I just now was able to get it cool down. So I just replaced the diaphragm, as well as I cleaned up and replaced the primer bulb. And that was it. I also blew through the little passageways with my air compressor. It wasn't dirty, so I just used the air compressor. Put everything back exactly how I came off. Now we're here to test it, so let's do it. Let's see what we have. I'll choke. I already primed it a few times because I wanted to make sure the fuel would go through the carb. I think it's a little out of tune, but let's see if it will start and then rev up. Hold down the throttle. Sorry, the camera got hot again. Anyway, it's running pretty good. Because there's no head on it, I didn't exactly know. I don't really have a way to fully tune it. I put the high needle exactly where the other one was. I only adjusted the low. I think the low was a little lean. It kind of fell on its face when it was first starting off. And after I turned it like an eighth of a turn out, it seemed like it cleared up a lot better. I wanted to make sure the clutch was not being engaged, so I lowered the idle until it stopped. That's important. You don't want to have the end running. If you do, that could potentially be a safety hazard depending on the head. I mean, it really isn't an attachment you could put on there where it wouldn't be a safety hazard, but look like it's good to go. So what do? We put fresh fuel and we put a fresh diaphragm, blew out the carburetor. Very easy things to do. Sorry I couldn't show that, but once you saw one taken apart, if you need to see it again, I have other FM 110Rs on there. I'm sure I did the carburetor on. Alternatively, you can buy an aftermarket one. They're usually pretty good. However, you will probably have to tune it. Luckily, if you do buy one, they usually do come with their little tuning drivers, so it's up to you. But other than that, I think we're pretty much set. If you have a Stihl KM 110R or anything like that, and you're having this problem, definitely check the fuel, see if it's good. If it is, then definitely check the filter, see if it's bogged down. The one thing I did not check, or well I did, but just not on the camera, was the spark arrestor. Stihls and 2-cycles in general, but especially Stihls, I love to plug the spark arrestor. It is clean, so I'm not too worried about that. So I knew it was a carb problem, especially after looking at the fuel that came out of there. It was definitely a little geriatric. I'm going to go ahead and leave you at that. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If you like what you see, definitely put a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. This helped you out to let me know how it helped you out. And if you do need additional help, feel free to becoming a member. It is one of the perks of being a member is having personalized assistance. So I'll be happy to do that for you whenever you need it. I'll see you next time. Have a good night.